Hello everyone and welcome back to these sessions on financial management. You are watching with me the topic long-term financing decision. We are going to talk about flotation cost. What is the meaning of flotation cost? Let me explain. When a company is issuing debentures, bonds, shares, any kind of financial instrument, it will have to initially incur cost for floating these instruments in the market. So, after the company issues these securities will be floated in the market. That means they will be available for buying and selling. That to make it marketable, whatever initial expenses has to be incurred, that is what we call as flotation cost. It may include legal charges, stamp duty, it may include charges towards some kind of advertisement, some kind of underwriting commission. All these expenses which are initially spent to make these securities tradable in the market, we call this type of cost as flotation cost. Point is very simple. Suppose I am issuing debentures of nominal value 10 lakhs and flotation cost incurred by me is 20,000. From the proceeds of 10 lakhs, I have spent 20,000. That is where we land up at net proceeds, which will be nominal value minus flotation cost. So, if you can recall, while dealing with cost of debt and cost of preference shares, we have already accommodated the flotation cost. With respect to cost of equity, please understand here also with cost of equity also there can be involvement of flotation cost, which is what we are going to talk about. Now with equity, obviously suppose market price of equity share is 200, so P0 will be 200. So the most frequently used formula for computing cost of equity is dividend price plus growth approach, that is KE equals to D1 by P0 plus G. This is what you had been doing. What if we already have some equity and now we are issuing new equity shares? When you issue new equity shares, you should know one thing, that these new equity shares could be in the form of right issue. What is a right issue? Shares offered to existing shareholders and that too at a concessional price. So imagine if the market price of shares right now is 200, I may offer these shares to my existing shareholders at a lower price, that is suppose 190, and maybe for issuing each share I am incurring on an average of flotation cost of rupees 5. Use your brain. What money will come in my hand on a per share basis? Do you know? Not 200, not 190, but 185. Because even though the market price is 200, I am floating the new equity share at a concessional price of 190 and incurring a flotation cost of rupees 5. So what I will get in hand is not 200 but 185. So logically, in place of D1 by P0, we would actually write the denominator over there as adjusted denominator, that will be 185. So out of 200 of current market price, rupees 10 was given as a concession and rupees 5 was incurred as flotation cost. So you may take 200 minus 10 minus 5, that equals to 185 as the net proceed on issue of this new equity, or you may directly take the issue price as 190 and from that you subtract flotation cost, the denominator will be 185. But you need to be very clear when you are dealing with this flotation cost with respect to equity, that there was already some existing equity. This new equity which you are floating in the market, both will now have little different cost at the initial stage. After 1 year is passed, all equity will be again behaving in the same way. But whenever you are issuing new equity shares, that particular year you will have not one but two separate KEs. One will be KE for existing equity and one will be KE for new equity. For existing equity cost, that is for existing equity, the cost of equity, the KE will be based on simply D1 by P0 plus G. There you will take P0 as 200 only. But when you are having this new equity issue with this component of flotation cost, you will definitely adjust that flotation cost and the concession given to the existing shareholders, particularly in cases of right issue, etc. You have to consider all that, and basically the denominator over there will be net proceeds and not the prevailing market price. Keep precaution. I'll be doing one thing. I'll be giving you notes on flotation cost and I'll follow up with an example, a calculative example on this flotation cost, particularly with respect to this new equity. But first let us write down some important notes over here. The new issue of a security, whether it is a debt or equity, involves some expenditure in the form of underwriting or brokerage fees, legal and administrative charges, registration fees, printing expenses, etc. The sum of all these costs is known as flotation cost. This expenditure is incurred to make the securities available to the investors. Flotation cost is adjusted to arrive at net proceeds for the calculation of cost of capital. Let us move ahead and take up this example, a very important example. In fact, if you properly read this example, this is conveying exactly the same thing that I was explaining in my example few minutes back. Can you read this example mentioned over here? Face value of equity shares of NJ Limited is rupees 10, while current market price is rupees 200 per share. Company is going to start a new project and is planning to finance it partially by new issue of equity and partially by existing. You are required to calculate cost of equity shares for existing as well as new issue if issue price will be 190 per share and flotation cost will be rupees 5 per share. So friends, in fact, if you have focused on the example that I have given, it was exactly same matter that I have conveyed to you. I have even given you hints that here you will be computing not a single but two different cost of equities, existing and the new one. When you are computing the cost of equity for existing equity, the denominator will be 200, and when you are taking the cost of equity for the new equity, the denominator will be 190 minus 5, that will be 185, and then dividend and growth rate is given to you, so you can easily work out everything that is needful. Let us move ahead and look into how to solve it. I have already explained you, it is just the writing part that is needed. In case of newly issued equity shares where flotation cost is incurred, the cost of equity share is calculated as below. So it is basically following dividend price plus growth approach. So can you notice one small change in the usual formula? Instead of taking D1 by P0 plus G, the denominator P0 is replaced by P0 minus F, where this variable F indicates nothing but flotation cost per share. But mind it, the P0 that you consider for this new issue in this example will not be 200 but 190. So to compute KE for this new equity share, the expected dividend is 10 divided by 190 minus 5. So it will be 10 divided by 185. That will be the dividend yield rate, and the growth rate will be 0.05 or simply 5%. When you calculate this, what you get is 0.1041 or 10.41%. For existing equity, the cost of equity is calculated as below. It is simply KE equals to D1 by P0 plus G, the usual thing that you have learnt. So it will be dividend and growth rate will not change. What will change is the base of the calculation, that is P0. P0 over here will be the current market price of existing equity share, which is 200. Here there is no point of adjusting any flotation cost. Flotation cost with respect to equity should be considered only and only when it is issue of new equity. Otherwise, you should not consider this flotation cost.